Hello, everybody. Hello. This is Sab, and you're watching the Creative Smartphone Photography Show. Still hot here in Paris. Today, I've got my happiness mug because I'm happy to be here. And I've also got that's a coffee one, and I've also got my trusty Breton from Brittany. Because it's thirsty. So I've got a lot on the show today. May not be very well organized, but I've just got a ton of stuff that I'm going to try and show it all to you. There's a microphone working. We've got this week's theme, which is abstract. We've got next week's theme. I'm not going to show you next week's theme entries, but there are already some. It's an amazing theme. It's quite testing. It's quite a challenge, I would say. And I want to show you some of my photographs from my latest exploits, and that's it. So hello, everybody, and welcome. Say hello if you're watching. Say hello. Type hello. It's so and so from such and such a place. I'm happy to be here, and it's boiling hot. Anything you like, I don't mind, especially comments on photographs. Word from the sponsors. Oh, no. First of all, I have to tell you, I did a reel. I'm getting into reels. That's what young people do. Well, I did a reel. I went into Paris yesterday. Well, let me see if I can play it for you. So if I do this, you might not hear anything, which would be embarrassing. But anyway, let me know. It's a reel. It's a reel, and it's new for me. Hi, this is Sab in Paris, and I'm going to show you something which is very annoying indeed, because I thought there was only one. There's my boy. Hello, boy. There's only one, and I've discovered there are two. Actually, he discovered there were two. Do you know what I'm talking about? I showed you earlier in this video. If you were paying attention, you would have seen it. Paris connoisseurs. I'm talking about this. This is a blue Wallace fountain. It's the second one I found. My son has found in Paris, and it's amazing. I collect these things. Call me weird, and of course it doesn't work. It's a boiling hot day. It's about 30 degrees here, and we're after a drink. And
thank you for the water, girls.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. It's a Wallace fountain. He gave them to the city for the poor people like us who need drinking water, and there isn't any. Enjoy. I'll show you the other one soon. Bye. Hi, this is Sab in Paris. Right, well, I don't think you need to see that twice. I wonder if you could hear it. Could you hear it? Let me know. Got some people saying hello. So this is reels. Apparently they're the latest, greatest thing. And I'm going to try and get into them. I've got enough material. I can blabber on about photographs, writing, life, the universe, and croissant. So I'm going to see what I can do. Someone's saying hello, Sab. Hello, Facebook user. Someone else is saying hello from Chris. Hello, Chris. Bear is saying hello, Sab. Hi, Bear. Dorothy. Hello, Dorothy. Jean. Oh my God, Monday sounds like it's a good day to do these. From Skokie on a cool summer day. I don't understand what you mean. I think cool is it's something they used to say in the 60s, but you don't use that word anymore today. Yes, I could hear it. Oh, great. Thank you. Jean says I could hear the video. Bear says we hear very well. Okay, I'm getting the message. And Facebook user says, yes, I could hear it. Maybe it's Kristen. And Dorothy says, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much, people, for interacting. I'm very happy. Hello, Sab and everybody. You people who are Facebook user, you're going to just have to let me know who you are. I don't know. I'll just say this. I'll say this once. You might have to go to, don't know if I've got it. It's it's StreamYard.com/Facebook. I know some of you have already done this and say it didn't work, but StreamYard.com/Facebook. Let them see who you are, and I hope it works. All right, cool temperature wise. That's amazing, Jean. Because it's boiling here. Really unpleasant. But that's my Scottish blood. Anyway, so that's a reel. I'm planning on doing lots more. See how it goes. You never know, do you? So now I'm going to try and share something else. I think I have to stop sharing because I did that to share the volume. I'm going to share again. and look at lots of photographs. Now this looks like it's the same thing, but it's changed a little bit, I promise you. All right, so the sponsors of this show are the Curious Connoisseurs Paris Masterclass. Check it out if you're interested in Paris. It starts next year, but there is material coming out now. InfiniteCreativityNow.com. No, that's not it. That's not it either. Ignore everything until you see this. ParisSetMeFree.com/master starts next year. I'm preparing it now. There is stuff to see now, and you're welcome to join at this special deal. That's it. Those are the sponsors. Now, I don't need a theme for next week because I've already chosen it, and it's a challenge. Why is it a challenge? Because, well, let me give you a clue. I'm doing it as the theme of the week in the photography group and in the creative blog and article writing group. This group is a bit dead, but what I've tried to do with this group is incorporate all the types of writing I like. So it's not really for people who want to write big, long books, but I like writing poetry, articles, memes, and maybe short stories, even if they're incorporated in a little sort of, a text to go with a picture. So basically, an article is an article, and a blog, you can put anything you like. So those sort of, anyway, the point is I'm making this theme also in the creative blog and article writing group. Why? Because I want you to take a picture of yourself and see what words it inspires. And I gave an example. This is my example. Oh my God, that's Dorothy. Dorothy, that's amazing. This is me, and these are the words it inspired. Okay, it doesn't matter what you write, and it doesn't matter what the photo is. Some sort of photograph of you. And I had Jean saying she's not fond of selfies at all. Well, make it your own sort of selfie. It could be a picture of your shadow. You decide. A photograph that represents you in some way, and see what words come. That's the point. See what words come. There's no rules. You can't do it wrong. Have fun. And it's a personal one. It's a personal one. All right. So let's go into the abstract theme. What a wild theme that was. Keep sending comments in, by the way. I will read them very, very regularly. I'm going to search this group, and I'm going to search for hashtag abstract. Doesn't matter if it's capitals or not. And cross my fingers. Hope to die. And get rid of that one. Get rid of the ones we don't need, in case they're taking up precious bandwidth. All right. So let's launch in. In a way, abstract, what can you say about it? If it's abstract, it's abstract. It's a bit like commenting on, a poem or even someone's self-portrait. What can you say about it? Because it's not for you to say anything apart from give your opinion. And everyone's got an opinion, so what's it worth? So abstract's a bit like that. What can I say about abstract? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Black and white, fuzzy, bits of wire and things. There's no description, Susan, so I can't really comment on it. Oh yeah, I remember. You said something somewhere in the comments about, can we see something? And I can see a bird pecking away here. And isn't that wild? Because I don't think it's a bird at all. It's not a bird. There ain't no bird there. And yet my brain said, there's a bird. That's the weird thing about abstract. This is the original, by the looks of it. Just... and somewhere in there's a bird pecking away at something. What is abstract? I think somewhere in the description, I put a definition because it might not be clear for people what abstract is. And the definition I saw, there were two. One was about thought in general, and the other one was in art. And the definition, the simple definition, I like the Cambridge Learner's Dictionary because the definitions are really simple and clear. It was something like patterns of shapes and colors without any clear object being identifiable. So that's it, really. Of course, it often is an object, a real object, but if you get in close, you change the angle, you play around with it, it becomes abstract. This was my example from the Paris Metro wall. And that's a good example of their definition, isn't it? colors and shapes. There's diagonals, there's kind of squarish bits, there's circles, and there's lines, and that's about it, you know. And it pleases me. I don't know why. But then all abstract art is a bit like that. If you like abstract art, why do you like it? Why do you like looking at colors and things? My theory is that we're made fundamentally to be attracted, or at least very, very sensitive to colors and shapes, almost over and above real things. Of course, we're attracted to faces. If we see a face in a picture, we'll go straight to it. We'll even invent faces, like we invented the pigeon bird thing in Chris, I think it was Chris's photograph there. We invented it because we so desperately want to see something we recognize, but we're still attracted to things we don't. I don't know why. There's something deep in us, you know, that likes finding patterns and patterns. So it's a fun exercise. And I do find something deeply pleasurable about looking at patterns which are clearly not identifiable. I don't know what this is, for example. Okay, she's telling us what it is. It's some sculpture, close up. So a sculpture could be anything, couldn't it? Especially if it's an abstract one. There's just something pleasing about it. The way the angles go. I like the way the angle changes in the top left there and then zooms down. At the same time, the blue bit is narrowing. I don't know why I like it. It's just pleasing. So that's about all I've got to say about it. This is particularly pleasing as well. There's just something very satisfying. Oh, God, I'm probably going to say the same thing for every single photograph. I like the diagonal zooming across the shot there. And the two different types of blue. And apparently these are they're supposed to represent sails on water because it looks over a lake. I would put this on my wall. I like your treatment as well, Jean. It's dark and mysterious. And as I said somewhere, I've got a feeling this is probably a lot more impressive than the actual building. And that's something we can do as artists and photographers that like playing around and being creative. We can, in inverted commas, improve reality, which is what we do. If we don't, then why are we taking photographs? You don't have to improve it, but warp it, pervert it, modify it to your liking and see what happens. That's the fun, really, isn't it? These were my two examples, which are taken. This is my favorite. You can see what it is. You can see this is a handle. There's a lock there, but I've twisted the angle. Now, this is something I've seen before. You might not realize, but there's something that makes this particularly pleasing for me. And it may or may not be true, but I like the fact that the photograph seems to be divided into three parts, and each one seems to get a bit bigger. So this big bottom right triangle there is countered by the other bit, and the other triangle has been itself divided into two. One is smaller and one is bigger. So you've kind of got a small orangey triangle bottom left, a bigger whitish triangle top left going over to the right, and then the biggest triangle of all is on the right hand side there at the bottom. And there's something about this repetition of triangles, each one getting bigger or smaller, that is pleasing. So if you can divide your shot in that way, and I've seen this in somebody else's shot, I can't remember which it was. It was something like the sky was the top third, the bottom below the sky was the bottom 2/3, but that bottom 2/3 had been itself divided into a third and 2/3. So watch out for that. You might not even realize you're doing it. It might just please you and you don't know why. From Jean, oh, so much fun. So she likes these. She doesn't like selfies, but she likes these. Looking up a flagpole with some crazy colors there. Nice positioning, just wild and nuts. Thanks for playing, Jean. Angela, Bea, I think she said she preferred, just for random reasons, preferred the flagpole to the rust. I think the rust, you must have played around with the text, with the sort of colors, because it's so rich. I love this. I mean, I think Bea liked this as well, but I love it. You can't say there's an actual subject because it's one continuous pattern. So how do you apply photographic principles to abstract? Well, you can still, divide it into thirds or have a subject within the abstract, even if you don't know what it is. So you can apply those principles. Here, there isn't really a subject as such, unless maybe this bit here kind of stands out. So it's more of a pattern. So there's patterns and there's abstract art, and it's not necessarily the same thing. If you look at this, I'd say this is more of a composition, because it's not all the same. It's not uniform. You've got this corner within a corner. She's decided not to do anything funny with the angles, unless this isn't the natural angle. So you've got a double corner. You've got the corner of the photograph and you've got the corner of the whatever the thing is, which is great. It's just incredible degradation of metal with probably the colors exaggerated a bit. Amazing. Delicious to look at. Maybe you don't like abstract. You can tell me and I won't be upset. What have we got here? We've got someone saying, Bear is saying it's not too hot today. It's a little bit cooler, isn't it? The temperature. Yeah, not too hot today, the temperature. I don't know what else might not be too hot. And I'm not even going to guess. I really like your triangle shot, says Jean. All right, let's keep chugging along. This was amazing. I kind of made is this where Thomas was asking what is abstract? There's someone who's asking what is abstract. It's a good question. I used a definition from the dictionary, but it's whatever you like in a way, but it's not readily identifiable. And this is where you can let your imagination run away, because there aren't any rules. How can there be? That's why I paint abstract stuff, because no one can tell me it's not supposed to look like that. And that's a great example. I don't know what it is. I don't really care. It's just stunning to look at. And he's popped his little 23 with the TR down in the bottom left. I don't know if it seems that your logo, Thomas, is slowly dropping off the edge of your photographs. I'm wondering if by the end of 23, we'll only be able to see the top right-hand edge of the 3 or something. It's a curious thing that you're doing there, and I like it. Cheers. At some point, Thomas had a ponder about what is abstract, and I reassured him by telling him that all of his photographs are abstract, so he doesn't really have to worry about it. This is me. Some carpet somewhere. Surprising what you find to do when you should be getting down to some real work. Literally, this was a couple of feet from my feet, and I wasn't feeling very inspired. And then I said, come on, you're the guru, as someone said to me jokingly the other day. So I thought, yeah, I probably should, pull my finger out. And I looked around and I saw this 2 feet from my feet and took a photograph of it and played around with it. And it's the edge of a carpet, and it's I like it. I like my own photograph. You're allowed to. This was another one. This was even closer to me. Now, is this abstract or not? Jean says, so happy to see Thomas's amazing shots again. Yeah, Thomas, you've got fans. Don't disappoint us. I was going to say, I don't know when I was going to say this. I've forgotten, but I had it in my mind to encourage you and to tell you these are creative groups here. So be as creative as you can, and try to create as often as you can. I generally say to people, create once a day or once a week. Think of those two as the sort of the guidelines. More than that, you're probably, being a bit antisocial. Less than that, I'm not really sure if you're fulfilling your creative potential, but somewhere between every day and every week is great. And I love the way that you're really taking, more and more of you are taking on board these challenges and getting amazingly creative. And week after week, it's building up. You're getting portfolios here. You realize that if we do this every year, every week, you're going to have a set of 50 photographs at least. if you take one per theme. If you take 5 per theme, you know, you'll have a huge portfolio of artistic shots. So you won't even see it happening. That's the thing. Do it a little and regularly, and amazing things happen. You know that I know what I'm talking about because I publish a photo every day. I don't know how or why that became the thing that I didn't want to stop doing, but you know, I've recently published photograph number 2000 in a row, you know, 2000 days in a row. And I thought, every time I think, how did that happen? It's quite strange. So, you know, keep going until you stop. But, you know, I'm glad to be encouraging you. So is this abstract or not? Well, you can see what it is. But having said that, it's kind of, the shapes are starting to take over. You've got the circle of the mug, the oval of the mouse, the ovalish thing of my edge of my glasses. They're all chopped. So it's not a picture of one of those things. That's one of the things you can do to make it abstract. Chop things. Sometimes I say don't chop things, but that's if you're taking a picture of the thing. So if you're taking a picture of a person, try not to chop their, you know, ear off or their fingers off. But if you're going abstract, chop everything. Drop everything and chop everything, and have them coming in from the sides of the photograph. So I've got the mouse coming in top left, the mug storming in bottom left, the glasses timidly making an appearance in the top right. The spoon isn't chopped. I didn't want to chop the spoon. I like the spoon. The rest is just, as soon as you chop objects, they start becoming shapes as opposed to functional items. So you've kind of got 3 or 4, if you count the spoon, round things together in a shot with a rather pleasant fuzzy background, which happens to be the table, and some nice color effects, and there you go. You've got a rather artistic shot from what was an incredibly boring you know, things on the table. This is what some people don't realize, and normal people like you and me say, oh, I'm not artistic. I could never do anything artistic. Well, you know, I was sitting at the table and I took a picture of my coffee cup. You know, not the most amazing, complicated setup ever created in the history of the world of photography, and yet I'm very pleased with this shot. And you might have one of those normal people saying, oh my God, you know, how did you do that? Well, you know, pointed camera, moved objects slightly, framed it somewhat, took the shot, and played around with an app that was free and anyone can get. There you go. No excuses. Jean says, chop or don't chop? To chop or not chop? That is the question. Yep. That's probably, you know, is that a gem? Should we write that down? I accompanied it with this is almost for Thomas because he likes song lyrics. Do you know where this comes from? I put question marks and nobody said where it came from, so you're all useless. One more cup of coffee for the road, one more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below. Great song. Who knows what it is? Thomas. But what does abstract mean, he says? Well, this is a good example, I would say. I love the darkness of it. I'm guessing it's, you know, some sort of puffball of something. And yet you haven't gone down the route of a really impressive, beautiful nature shot. You've Tomified it, you've darkified it, you've gone all mysterious and moody, and it's amazing. I love the little bit of color coming in there on the left. I'm looking for your logo. Your logo is, oh my God, I've just seen the logo. Can you see the logo, folks? It's right in the middle of the flower. I can just see the TR. Thomas, you've got your style, man. You've got your style. Keep going. We want to see more. What else have we got here? What are your favorite photographs so far, people? Let me know. Don't forget the theme for next week. I'm going to push this one. I don't know if I can find it now. I'm going to open up another window especially. Don't want you to run away from this. I'm going to open up, I'll open up the same one again. So the theme is, it's a double whammy. I want a picture and I want words. You only need to do one, but don't do zero. So a picture of yourself in any way you like. There it is in the top right, portrait ponders. So I'm looking for some representation of you, photographically speaking, and words which are inspired by you considering the image that you have created. It could be about your life. It could be about life in general, the universe and everything. It could be deep and meaningful. It could be light. It could be a poem. It could be a throwaway line. But I want you to be inspired by the image. I want you to try combining two creative channels in one piece. So that's Portrait Ponders. That's next week's theme. Another one from Thomas. He's going to say it's something, yeah, it's his living room window. And yeah, I don't know what he's done, but I love I love the angle. There's all sorts of nice things going on here, and none of it really seems real. And as soon as something is real, as soon as something is not real, it's clearly not identifiable. All the rules go out of the window. It doesn't have to look like anything. When it doesn't look like anything, it can't be judged by anything. I actually say that about creativity itself. I say, even taking a photograph of the Eiffel Tower, for example, okay, it's been done before, but I say, I'm convinced that you taking a photograph of something or trying to draw something, it doesn't really matter, or write a poem, you have never done what you're doing before, and you shouldn't compare yourself to others because it's not the same. They haven't lived your life. So that's something that is flagrantly true. I don't even know if that's an English word. Blatantly true, maybe. With abstract, there are no rules. If you took the photograph, it is the photograph that was meant to be taken. Almost looks a bit like a watch strap. This is from Angela. Reflection of the window on the glass of the frame. Where is the painting of a Greek painter? Reflections are great, combined with real things. One of my favorite shots that I remember spontaneously looking at this is taken on a Paris metro. I'm in the metro, the doors are closed. So there are lots of reflections in the doors of the people on the train. I'm on the train. But through the window is the platform. And on the platform is a statue, because maybe it's the station, the metro station near the Louvre Museum or something. There's a statue, a bit like this picture. So you've got the combination of the statue, classical statue, combined with the reflections in the window that I'm taking the shot through of people on the train. Possibly there's a person on the platform as well. And it's just a mishmash of images. Some are in focus, some are blurry. You don't know what's going on, and it's marvelous. After you've taken a shot like that, you might look at it and think it's crap. Often it's pretty awful to start with. You know, like you're not sure what's going on. It's all, but then play around with it. Bump up some of those colors, sharpen it, all this sort of stuff, contrast, and you'll get something special. And, unique. I love this. And 𝘚𝗏 has gone poetic on us. You could guess what it is, but, you don't even need to. It's just incredibly pleasant to look at this. Whatever she's done, it's really lovely to look at. And because you can't necessarily identify exactly what it is, it's even more pleasing, because as soon as you can identify what it is, it kind of almost kills the pleasure. You think, oh yeah, it's a, it's a fork. Oh yeah, it's a colander, whatever. Oh yeah, it's the edge of a book. As soon as you've identified it, it almost loses a bit of magic. So I'm happy not to know what this is. And she has, but I do. And she's written a poem, 𝘚𝗏𝗏, yeah, my God. Courbe irisée, trace de légèreté, chasser la chaleur, loin de nos rancœur. Courbe irisée, trace de légèreté, chasse la chaleur, loin de nos rancœurs. You know, I can actually invite people on this show. I've never done it. I could invite you on and you could read your own thing, but then I'd be embarrassed about, getting rid of you again. You'd probably hang around for the whole show. And no, I'm joking, but yeah, one of these days I'm going to invite someone on and you're going to read your stuff. So there is a translation somewhere, is there? It's something like iridescent curves, traces of lightness, chase the heat far from our rancor. So, obviously it's not as poetic in English, but it's delightfully poetic in French. And I'll let you into a secret. 𝘚𝘢 didn't know she was a poet. So there you go, you see. I didn't believe her. I said, what load of nonsense. Of course you are. And then and she said, no, I'm not. And then she wrote a poem. Funny that, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Jean says, love Thomas puffball shot. Thanks, Jean. It's so nice to say that you like other people's shots, everybody. It's wonderful. And it's one of those things we don't always do spontaneously, So hi from Kristen, just tuning in. Hi, Kristen. Haven't seen anything from you yet. I hope you put #abstract. We're just looking at some amazing photographs. All right. Keep commenting. This is amazing, Jean. We all love this. And I was almost disappointed to see what it was before appreciating the shot. I just wanted to just be amazed by this shot. Imagining it was a sort of everyday thing, and yet it's just so unbelievable. It's just so amazingly beautiful. And then I spotted what it was, just a close-up of a bike rack and its shadow genocided. Yeah, I can't even work out what's going on, and I don't really want to. It's just wonderful. Definite wall hanger there. It's funny we say things like just. This is just a close-up. I don't know what you mean by just, What are you're saying it's not as good as it appears, or you're protecting yourself from people thinking you're pretentious for having published an incredible shot? Yeah, I'm talking to everybody who belittles themselves just in case someone else is going to do it, so they get their sort of their little humbleness in there first. We all do it. But you don't have to. You don't have to. If you don't want to, what you can say is, here's a photo I took, and then and then you're not being boasty, you're not being humble. You're just saying, here's a photo I took, and then we can all happily say how amazing it is. Can you guess what this is? Hang on, 𝘚𝘢 is saying, love Jean's photo with circles. Yes. And I don't want to know what it is. Yeah. Sometimes it's better that way. Although, to be honest, we kind of would like to know. This one, I had no idea what it is. And she says it's I thought it might be soap bubbles or close-up of the side panel in a playground. Light peeking through. Wonderful. Now, this is a good example of chopping. Do you remember I chopped my mug, my glasses, and my mouse? Well, she's chopped this somehow. So, what is the subject? Is it the thing with the holes, or is it the thing in the middle, which is more solid? It's interesting, isn't it? We talk about negative space. Sometimes you can play around with objects, and you can actually make the space in between the objects. If you de-objectify the things enough, you can almost make it that it switches over and it looks like the subject is the space between the objects, which is an interesting effect. And angular. We can guess what it is, but it's absolutely crazy colors. Wow. That's fun. What is that? Solarizing effect or something like that? Don't know. Okay, this is Nazanin coming in with a whole bunch of photographs. How are we doing for time? Oh my goodness, time's running away. And I wanted to show you some of my latest photographs, but let's zoom on. We've got random sort of it's amazing how walls which are clearly you're allowed to put stuff up. Well, people continuously put stuff up. They put their stuff over other people, then that gets raggedy, then other people put it over theirs. And it becomes this kind of abstract composition in its own right, even though it's a bunch of original pieces. So yeah, taking shots of sort of random graffiti walls, which have been invaded by many different people, can be great. And there's a good example. 𝘚𝘢𝘣'𝗴 𝗦𝗠𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗣𝗛𝗢. It should be 𝘚𝘢𝘣'𝗴 draw me a sheep. There's le petit prince, the little prince. But that's not what he said. He said, draw me a sheep. So maybe there's some sort of play on words here, which I don't get. 𝘚𝘢𝘣 𝗴. So that's probably a play on words, which I don't get. That's great. That could go on the wall, couldn't it? It's obviously a bit of a bigger piece. So that's zoom in, get a detail, and suddenly it's abstract. Where did you find these? Just walking around? It's London. Did you say it's London? I love this. Okay, I know you just took a photo of somebody else's art, but I love this sort of random style of just throwing colors and leaving it at that. You can be very cynical about art like that and say, anyone could do it. But, they did it and you didn't. So sometimes I say, shut up to myself. And there's the whole wall. Great. I know you love walking around taking shots, Nazini. All right, we've got north of Paris, France. That's Nazanin, I guess, saying north of Paris in France. Yeah, probably along a canal or something like that, is it? Angular with getting in really close, crazy colors, playing with the flashlight through glass, and there's a shadow there. Looks like you're having a lot of fun. I've got to decide who is going to be I'm going to choose 3 winners. Anyone could be a winner, as Hot Chocolate said. I like that a lot. I wouldn't have chopped the edge off there. Edges chopped. It's my pet thing for God, it's such an amazing shot. There, it doesn't matter if you chop because it's completely and utterly chopped. There, it's a tiny bit of the edge, which makes my toes curl. Totally ignore me if you want to. Love it. It's moving towards just a mishmash of colors, but there's a hint of what it is, which is really nice. Just amazing. Absolutely stunning. So she's got a glass. She's got a light shining directly through the glass, I guess. A crazy shadow and a lovely composition. Amazing. I think we've seen those before now. Kristen said, no, I love walking around taking shots too, Kristen. That could be Nazanin, I think. And Jean is saying, I love Angela's glass shots. Aren't they amazing? All right, let's go faster and faster. Bear, no, this is Bear. Morning moments. This is a mug. This is the inside of a mug. Should I have said that? But if you don't know that, it's a series of concentric circles radiating out from the bottom left. What is really funny about this, and I only noticed it much later after having seen the shot, there's a little self-portrait there. Can you see it? A teeny weeny self-portrait of Bear in the bubble, and there's another one in the bottom right, and possibly even in some more. Isn't that funny? It's a self-portrait, kind of. Chris, first of all, I just enjoy the incredibleness of the textures and stuff. Some of these I wish I could paint like this. I probably could if I tried. They're just so amazing. It's just playing with light, shiny, buckled surfaces. It's a hand-pounded sink. I can see a Mustang. How about you? Is that a wild horse? Okay, well, I'm not going to spend half an hour looking for a Mustang. Oh, it's so tempting. No, I won't. See if you can find a Mustang in that. This one, there's something. It's like a sort of. It reminds me of one of those films, like Jurassic Park or something, and there's like a dinosaur face with the eyes closed or something, and you're relaxed. It's obviously dead. There's nice gentle music lulling you into this false sense of security, and then suddenly, boom, and you've got this eye, and everybody jumps out of their skin. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think that's an actual scene. So that kind of reminds me of that. It's actually just a bit of a tree. So that's what abstract does. It frees your imagination to imagine anything you like. Green tubes of a stereo. Beautiful. Getting in close is a real trick to make your photographs much more artistic, because no snapper would do it. This you can see on the right there what this is. It's part of a doll's house. No, I don't know what it is. It's like I think it's something that Angela creates. She's incredibly creative. I think she created this. And in one of those tiny little windows is a tiny little face looking through. And she's angified the colors as well. Okay, I think, no, it's not the end. Of course not. People jumped on this theme almost as soon as I mentioned it. This is from Susan. And I almost don't want to know what it is. It's some sort of stone. It's pleasing. It's one of those pleasing things. The colors are pleasing. The textures are pleasing. The shape is, abstract. Why do people have abstract paintings? What's the point? What do you think of abstract, people? Do you like it? Does it have a point? Why do random shapes and colors please us? It's a question. Can you answer it? There's no right answer, by the way. Jean is saying, oh my, I didn't see Beatrice's reflection in the bubble. Yeah, neither did I, Jean. Okay. Did I blow that up for posterity? Yeah, it doesn't blow up. That's the size it was. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think Facebook reduces your photos, but watch out for that. Watch out for it. Watch out for uploading a tiny version. Sometimes sending photographs by WhatsApp and stuff like that, it seems like a shortcut to get it where you want it to be. And yet sometimes they crush the photograph, both in terms of size and quality. And, you think you've got the original and you're posting a tiny little horrible thumbnail or something. This is part of another photo. Could be a hand. Could be a hand. The black and white takes away the clue of color, doesn't it? I'm guessing it's a hand because it looks like skin. But, once abstract can also be changing the colors or taking away the color. Because, people aren't black and white people. People are normally colorful. So you take away color, you've moved one step away from reality. That's a way of going abstract. Of course, if it's a black and white portrait and you can see the face, it's not very abstract. But, people aren't a quarter of a millimeter thick and black and white. So black and white or any monochrome color is a way of going abstract. Shadow of leaves on a sidewalk. You can guess what it is, can't you? But you don't really know. So can you answer? Are you all tapping away, telling me what abstract is and whether it's completely stupid or completely wonderful and why? What do you like abstract and why? That's what I want to know. What's the deal with abstract? What is it about either something that really isn't real, just shapes and stuff, or something that is real but made to not be recognizable? What is it that's pleasing about that? Because you've produced some amazing stuff here. It obviously inspired you. I'd love to know why. Look at this. It's the little details you don't normally notice. This is Ingrid's biscuit or bread, morning bread or something like that. It's so great to look at those little details. Pebbles, an abstract wall of pebbles. I'm not sure if it's abstract or not, because I'm thinking it's a wall of pebbles. So I'm not sure if that's abstract or not, to be honest, because it is a wall of pebbles. You could say, oh my God, it looks like a wall of pebbles, but it is. Pebble Dash. There used to be a Pebble Dash wall at my home when I was a little boy, and I used to be quite intrigued by it. I think I used to try and pull bits off and annoy my parents. That's it. No, it isn't. This is one of the first ones from 𝘚𝗏, and she's getting all poetic on us again. Orange comme la peau, offerte en cadeau à 𝘠𝘢𝗪𝗔𝗀 qui croque le verre d'eau. Sorry, I'm murdering this. De la pomme ramollo des blancs manteaux. So I think the translation is in there, but it translates the words. It's a kind of a nonsense poem. I'll tell you what, though, I absolutely adore this. Orange, it's like, it's not pastel. Tutti frutti. There's a type of orange and a type of green. I'm not sure. There's something in mind. I can't think of it. I love these two colors together. And it reminds you of apples and oranges. And then this pointy bit of white with detail and things. You don't know what this is. Is it part of a poster? Is it part of a seat? I think it might be taken in the metro because I recognize the metro tiles, but it's just, and then she's thrown in some words. I encourage you to do that. It ain't over till it's over. The ceiling at Nobu, I don't know what Nobu is. Nobu in Chicago, with a little extra light play. Good for you, Susan. You were one of the first to start contributing. Chris, I bring to you abstract car lights. Chris is a bit of a car fan. She's that weird lady you see skulking around the back of behind your car when you look out of the window. And you think, oh my God, it's her again. That is gorgeous. This is really getting to the abstracts that I love. Just a whoosh of mushed up colors. And I'm particularly fond of purple, blue, and pink. Superb. Is it a car tail light that has a multifaceted car light? I think that's it. Nice ones to finish on. Have I got 10 minutes to show you my photographs or not? Oh, I've gone back to the beginning. Silly me, unless that's an amazing abstract from Dorothy. It's actually a spoon with dried chocolate on, apparently. I think there it is. There's the original. How about that? You know, Dorothy, maybe you should wash up your cups and stuff a bit more regularly. Then again, you wouldn't have beautiful abstract photographs like this, I suppose. So I'm done. I'm really sorry if I didn't see yours, but you know, I saw a ton of them. Okay, abstract. It was fun doing abstract and seeing what others created, but it's not my thing. Okay, like self-portraits, Jean. I prefer real. Yep, fair enough. You're allowed to have preferences. But, you know, it's sometimes nice to step outside of your comfort zone. So, you know, well done for going for it anyway. And sometimes the things you don't think you like, you actually discover that, you know, I love abstract because you can imagine what you want. I love Kandinsky and Miro colors, says 𝘚𝗏. I must admit, I get a lot of inspiration especially from Miro. He's done some stuff. It's just sort of so nonsensical. It's brilliant. I like look at some of Miro's paintings and look at the titles that he puts. It's really great. You know, things like he's put 7 random lines and a circle, and it's girl swallows the moon whilst playing on a purple violin. And you think, maybe this way up? Nah, the other way around. I like abstract more since we explored it this week. Had a lot of fun with it, Kristen says. Discovered I love it because of the infinite possibilities in perspective and perception. Feels playful. Thanks for playing, Kristen. Jean loves the bright colors, orange and green of 𝘚𝗏's shot. Yeah, that was a real find, a real catch. Good example. I'm sure she was sitting waiting for a metro. Well, what do? You could either gaze into space, wondering why you're spending your life, wasting your life waiting for metro trains, or you can take amazing photographs. Jean just said that. Great car tail light shots by Chris. Yeah. Do what you love. You love cars? Take photographs of cars. And I'm going to stop there. I'm going to very quickly zoom over to my photographs. And I'm not sure if I showed you this before. I probably did. So I won't spend much time on it. It's a grid of 9 photographs, all linked to the event where the Arc de Triomphe was covered as a posthumous artistic happening from Christo and Jean-Claude. They covered it. They wrapped these artists who wrap things. I mean, you could say they're artists, but then again, you could just say they're people who wrap things. I love the idea of art. You know, I've stopped saying that I'm anything. I don't say I'm a photographer. I don't say I'm an artist. I don't say anything unless, you know, it makes it easier for people to understand you and you don't seem completely weird. But I don't say what I am. It's so pointless. I say what I do. So, you know, are they artists? Well, they wrapped things, things which aren't normally wrapped. Huge things, you know, not the size of a parcel, the size of a huge bridge or a huge monument. And that's what makes it so crazily cool. You know, this is the inside of the Arc de Triomphe, looking like some weird sort of, I don't know, but there's something about, it's not disrespecting. It's kind of enhancing. Some people didn't like it and some people loved it. What I like most, I think I like 2 things most. One is that it happens. I live in a city where we are able to have artistic expression. I think that in itself is wonderful and an honor and a privilege not to be taken lightly. Because in some places, art is the last thing you're allowed to appreciate or express. You know, you could go to prison or worse. So that's just one thing. The fact that I live in a city where this could happen is such a wonderful thing. And the second thing is forgotten. But, you know, it's kind of audacious. It's not disrespecting it. It's repurposing it. You know, why should it just stand as a bunch of stones and stuff? Some people thought it was disrespecting, you know, the people it represent, which are the victims of wars and things. But I don't think so. You've got to move with the times. And I had fun taking different photographs, some including me, some people hanging around and living their lives. I'm a street photographer. I've just said I wouldn't say what I am. I take street photography. I take photographs in the street. And that includes, you know, it was a huge event. This hundreds of thousands of people going to see this 2-week event of this world famous monument covered. I'd like them to do the Eiffel Tower. And yet, you know, this photograph is this woman's moment, this woman and this dog's moment. I don't know who they are. They have a life as much as I have. They've lived as much as me. Their ups, their downs, their tragedies, their victories. So it's about life. This photograph is about this moment in time. This woman holding, maybe the dog's old. Maybe the dog couldn't walk and was tired. Maybe she's going to put him down next week. Maybe, you know, maybe he's comforting her through her divorce. Maybe it's none of that at all. It doesn't matter. But most of all, I like the guy balancing the Eiffel Tower on his nose. Anyway, so that's that. You can see I've done a bunch of stuff with that, and tried to be a bit abstract in the middle right there. You know, major abstract technique, turned it through 90 degrees. Yeah. Top left was supposed to be kind of looking up in the image, in the grid, to what is logically, it's clearly a photograph where I'm looking up. So I put that in the top left, and I wanted to counter that with something more looking down. So logically, in the middle, you're looking straight on to the massive block, which is the Arc de Triomphe. And so logically, if you follow that line down, I thought, well, I'll be looking down, but I'm not looking down at the foot of the thing. I'm actually looking down at almost my feet. There's a puddle. The Arc de Triomphe is reflected in it. In the bottom left, I do have a foot of the Arc de Triomphe. So there you go. And the last thing I wanted to show you before I go, so we've got, looks like your pink period. Yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe it is. Yeah. I try to have some sort of unity. I agree with Kristen. I appreciate abstracts more after this week. Yeah. Well, we're going back to non-abstracts now. So, you know, but it's part of your repertoire now. Don't forget, you can post any photographs you like at any time in the group. Just, you know, have a comment with them. No hashtag. You've got taken a nice shot. Put it in the group and comment on it. And I don't quite understand wrapping a monument, so I guess I don't like it, but I do love your shots. You know, one definition of art is it's supposed to make you ask questions. Some of those questions on the weirdest stuff can be, you know, why the hell did they do that? But if you're a little bit more thoughtful, the questions you ask are things like, why don't I like it? What is it about this that, you know, irritates me, if that's the case? Or maybe just, what is the artist trying to say? So, you know, one definition of art is that, to get people to ask questions they wouldn't normally ask. And your son's hand on your head is priceless. It's so sweet. You are absolutely correct. The thing is, Jean, I didn't ask him to do that. I put my head there, trying to get some, you know, different shot. And for some reason, he put his hand on my head. And I'd better stop talking about it or I'll get all emotional. I've said goodbye to him for 3 weeks. He's gone on holiday. And then he's going to go on holiday with me for 3 weeks. So 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Could be the ideal balance. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to show you is this. This is a new grid. Yeah, almost got me there. This is a new grid, and it was a special event. I have precisely 30 seconds to tell you this if I'm going to respect the hour, which I won't. And it's a special French day. It's not a public holiday or anything, you know, they've got the 14th of July and everything and other things like that. But they've got this special day. It's called l'Appel du 18 juin, which means the call or the appeal of the 18th June. And on the 18th of June, 1940, General de Gaulle was in London and he called on the radio, BBC Radio London, an appeal to the French to resist the Nazi invaders. Not many people probably heard it, but, you know, and it wasn't even recorded. That's the strange thing. But obviously the words were recorded, so we know what it said. And and the message got out. And then he did more and more. He did a lot of broadcasts from London, and of course, sort of organized various resistance things. The French resistance became a thing, and played a huge role in, you know, keeping the spirits up, sabotaging the enemy's efforts, and eventually, with the Allies, getting France back. And he eventually became the president of France at some point. So there was this event, and I attended the main memorial service. I don't know what you call it, at a place called Mont Valérien, which is Paris is surrounded by forts. The danger is I get into my Paris blah blah now. It's surrounded by forts, many of them, and one of them. This is the outside wall. If you look at the middle left photograph, this is the outside wall of one of those forts that surrounds Paris. They didn't do much good, you know, but as soon as you invent a missile which can travel several hundred kilometers, forts, you know, they're not quite as useful as they were when it was like horses riding up trying to break into a city. But anyway, that's the outside wall of one of these forts. This cross here is the symbol of the French resistance. It's actually got a long history. It's known as the Cross of Lorraine. Lorraine is one of the regions in France. I think it was sort of balanced between the Germany. Sometimes it was Germany, sometimes it was France. Maybe getting that wrong there. But it's got a history that goes way back, I think, to Hungary, Romania, maybe the Byzantine Empire. This double cross thing has got a long history, and the Nazis had this really powerful symbol too. You know, they had the Iron Cross, which was a specific type of cross, and they also had the swastika. You know, I was going to say like it or not, but like it or not, this was a very powerful unifying symbol. A bit like the way the Russians are using that Z symbol, you know, its symbols are really powerful. So the French resistance needed a symbol to unify people, and you know, a symbol makes it seem like it's a real thing. It's something to sort of rally around. So they chose this, and this became the symbol of the French resistance, of the freedom, the Free France movement. And it was also, if you look at this bottom picture, it's my hand holding a medal, an award, which was created by General de Gaulle to recognize people who were fighting the Nazi invaders, the resistance movement, and if you got it, you became a companion of the Order of the Liberation movement, something like that. And you can see that the double-crossed cross is on there as well. Thanks to Beatrice for me being a part of that. And I'll leave it at that. I won't go into details on that. We're over time. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. It's been fun. I really appreciate all your comments. It's getting more and more. It's growing. It's working. Somebody said to me when I decided to start these live videos again, because I've done it a few times and, you know, sort of fizzled out for various reasons. Somebody said to me not too far from here, let's see how long it takes before you give up this time. And those words hit a nerve, and I haven't stopped yet. So, you know, words are powerful. So your challenge, if you choose to accept it, which you should as part of this, as active members of this group and dear friends, is to take a photograph of yourself, some sort of photograph, even if you feel a bit uncomfortable. Well, you know, use your abstract skills to make it an abstract photograph, if you like, something which represents you, and see what words it inspires, what text comes out of you. Let's make it a double whammy, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. This show was sponsored by the Paris Masterclass, which is happening from next year. I'm already producing content which is available to people who join now at the best deal price. And so you're welcome to join me on that. If you want tons and tons of unique stuff about Paris, you can go here, parissetmefree.com/master. And I will see you again next week. Can't wait to see what you come up with. And Kristen says, thanks for not giving up and being here, leading us. Yeah, well, you know, it's a mutual inspiration. Only it works both ways, and it couldn't work in one direction. So thanks, folks. And thanks, Sam. Thanks for not stopping. I enjoy the creative challenge. Yeah, maybe this will be another thing like my photos. By the way, I forgot to tell you, number 2000 was in here somewhere. Number 2000 is this one. And that's Invalid. And I'll just put this up for posterity if you want to read the blurb, which I need to get rid of that. You know, you want to stop the video at some point later and what am I doing? Yeah, and read that, you can. That's the blurb that came out of me for number 2000. 2000 days in a row, 2000 photographs and 2000 texts. And you can start, you can do the same. You just have to start. Any day is good. Today's the best. Talking of which, join Today's the Day Facebook group if you want to share your daily accomplishments, hopes, fears, and joy for being alive day after day. Or just from time to time, join my Today's the Day group. It's a lovely group, and some people share lovely things there. All right, a couple more comments and I'm out of here. Thanks, I appreciate this time. Dorothy, I've had a look at your submission text and images for the portrait ponders, amazing stuff. There's one photograph in there that is just unbelievable. And I hit 1,000 a few months ago. Gene, that's incredible. 1,000 photographs in a row, day after day. And you are now known amongst your peeps, your posse, as that lady who publishes a photograph every day. Stunning. Why don't you repost number 1,000 in the photo group? I'd love to see it. And there were many great pictures. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to go before I have to get up again. See you soon. Take care and happy snapping.